Okay, I'm mixing up the catalyst and the rubber right now. I mixed the thinner in first, so it's well blended. And it's really important to mix the catalyst thoroughly into the rubber, because if it doesn't get thoroughly mixed, you'll have areas that don't set up and it'll be forever goo. And that's probably the worst scenario you can ever have, because it's next to impossible to set up and it's gooey and nothing can clean it up. So I like to move it from one container to the next so we can scrape the bottom. And we'll mix some more. So I put in, this is the catalyst, and I actually put a little bit of fast catalyst in here to make it kick a little faster. And then this is the thinner, so I put some thinner in to loosen up the rubber, which is kind of thick. So I want it a little looser so we can get into all the cracks and crevices, because you got a lot of detail. And just kind of smoother. The next round, the next layer, I'll probably not put a thinner in and just use it at the thickness that it is. I'm just going to be better safe than sorry. Do another mix. It's messy, but it's fun. And for the most part, it isn't toxic as long as you keep it off your skin and you wipe it off right away if you do. But once the rubber is set, this is non-toxic. Okay, now we'll apply it to the piece. And so this first layer, I let it set up a little bit. So what we're putting on top will stay nice. It won't disturb the underlayer, which you definitely do not want to do. You don't want to disturb the underlayer. I use a little chip brush. So the wide ones are the smaller ones, so I'll probably use the big one now, just to kind of help spread it. This batch is a little thicker than the first batch I put on, so it'll stick better to the piece. And this is called a paint up mold. There's a bunch of different styles of mold. This is a paint mold. As you can see, painting it on. Very carefully laid into the crevices so we don't catch bubbles. I'm also going to blow it with some air again in the eye area so we make sure it's in there. And the nose. The first layer is very, very important to lay on right so that we capture all that detail. So I was very careful, and I didn't have somebody helping filming when I did that. Eric is filming now. And depending how much fast cure you put into it, you have to move quickly before the rubber cures up on you. I'll have to probably do another container full. And I like to get all the material on. Get rid of that brush here. It's really important not to bash into the piece with your tools, especially when they're metal. So you have to have a nice delicate touch. I'm trying to squish out any bubbles right now. It's a little thick, so I'm gonna leave that open so I can go in again. And just double check that there aren't any bubbles getting trapped. Go around the feet here. Try and lay it on even. I chase it for a while it's setting up, so catch the drips, smooth it out. Getting thicker, as you can see, it's starting to cure up. I heard a bubble pop. So I squished it out. Just make sure there's no bubbles. Squish them out. I'm not going to touch the nose. I'm going to go in with some thinner stuff at the nose. I think I'll do a quick blow coat. There you see the bubble.